Okay. Okay, great. So, and here we are. I think we're all set with everything. All right, so welcome to today's community breathing and tension release. If anyone doesn't know, I'm Michele and I teach Yoga Nirada. This is the beginning warm-up sequence of Yoga Nirada, and I am using this to just sort of get more healthy stress release and tension release, maybe a different kind of relation to your body for some people, just sort of out into the universe. So very relaxed on the floor today. You can prop yourself up if you need to, maybe a little folded up mat or a pillow or a cushion. You want to be able to find a nice comfortable position for your hips and your lower back. So we're going to start with trying to bring some focus into ourselves. So we're just relaxing with the sits bones released into the floor or whatever seat you feel most comfortable. You can do this sitting in a chair. I think next week I will do it on a stool just to sort of give you that variation. So you can you want to find comfort. So you can cross your feet. You can take a long diamond shape with your feet. You can bring your feet straight out and relax this way. So whatever helps you feel most released here, we're going to just find a sense of relaxing through the shoulders. Find a sense of where your sitting bones are. So you can take a little side to side rocking and feel your weight shift on the bones. You want to find a sense of letting go of any tension and tightness in the muscle tissues around the bones here. So we're just feeling that we let go and shift and drop into the bones. Don't worry about holding yourself or matching what you see somewhere else. Just try to feel your body and find that sense of release into your body through the bones. Let your tail energy, the tail end of your spine. So we've got our sacrum down there, nice and wide, like a nice sort of butterfly or a heart shape down there. And you want to feel that the sacrum from the top of the sacrum releases down through the tail of the spine towards the floor. This might bring you a little bit back in your posture. We want to find a sense of plumb line where you balance through the spine all the way up through the crown of the head from that slight shift and adjustment at the base of the spine and the pelvis. So there's a place where we can find posture and release into it. And that's what we're looking for in ourselves today when we start. We're going to relax the shoulders, let the arms hang, let your eyes soften and close here, and feel that your eyes drop back into the back of your head a little bit to align with the energy into your spine. We want to feel that sense of breath release all the way down through the spine, into the base of the spine, into the base of the pelvis. You can check out your jaw and chin here, letting that release and drop back. Let your breath come into focus as you're dropping the breath down. Starting to notice your breath. Maybe you're letting yourself take a deeper breath without trying, just letting the breath release and seeing what comes through. Starting to release any external thoughts or tensions, bringing your focus into yourself. Very gently, we're going to softly open the eyes and take the palms together and just start to feel the breath travel up into your palms as you glide and slide in between the palms. Very relaxed with the fingers, feeling a sense of energy, friction, heat come in between the palms here. Feel that literally that you're drawing breath from inside your body to the surface of your palms. So you're feeling a connection from internal to your external. So you're feeling that come out to a distal point in your body. Depending on where you are and what your temperature is, you might need to do this a little bit longer. We're going to separate the palms. Feel that energy buzz in between your palms. Let that push your palms out into the space around you. So we want to feel, again, the breath from inside moves us into the outside external space. Your breath is moving and exploring and breathing into all of the space you have around you to explore. You're not exploring it with just seeing with your eyes. You're exploring it with the sensation of breath through your body. Feel the body, especially through the back body, move you around the space and feel that you're connecting and expanding into all of the space you have up above, down below, around the sides and behind you. Let the breath support you. Everything else is soft and just following along. You can sort out any little sort of creaks and crevices you start to find here. And this is also a nice sense of just breathing and opening and sort of assessing where your body's at today. Then we're going to reach out, gathering energy through the palms from the space around us, sensing that over the face and eyes. We're just going to breathe into that, release and wash that over our face and eyes, releasing through the breath, finding a sense of softness flush through the face, a release of stress, releasing around the face and eyes. And then we're going to take our fingertips into the brow bone. We're pressing from the inside, massaging up and around through the outside of the brow bone with a little bit of a lift at the edges here towards the hairline. We're going to exhale and feel a sense of release and relaxation and an opening from the center of the face around and out, breathing through it to find a nice sense of openness around and up. Then we're taking our index finger, a little bend here, and we're going underneath the eyes into the orbital bone, right through our sinuses, breathing, relax your face, and breathe through this nice sweep and opening, again, a little bit up into the hairline. You're literally following the line of the bones on your face. So you're connecting into where your bones go, around and through the outside. Try to relax and just breathe through the touch that you're using on your body. Using your fingertips, we're going to just take a nice little light scrubbing up and down on the forehead, nice releasing of the breath. Moving the skin, just sort of moving the lymph on the surface to release and flush through the energy of the face. We're going to gently come around to the outside of the eyes, very, very soft circular motions on the temples, just lightly moving the skin here, not pressing in. Breathing into that. And then traveling, relax your jaw and move your fingertips down in between your upper and lower jaw. Now here you can palpate, you can press in a little bit more. Breathe through the fingertips. Feel that there's a sense of breath into the fingers, even if it's a little bit more pressure, because this tends to be a big tension spot for all of us. So relax your jaw and just explore around that area. So you might feel you need to go a little bit higher or a little bit lower, or sort of around right in the center. That's another big one. Feeling that release come through. And then we're going to go into the scalp above the ears, just feeling that we're scrubbing and lifting up towards the crown of the head around the ears. Feeling a nice sense of decompression around the ears, lifting up around towards the back. We're tracing around the lines of the ears towards the back of the head, feeling that we lift up from underneath the skull here. So right into that crease where the spine and the head meet, the occiput. We're feeling that space lengthen and release up a bit. And then we're going to go into that crease and just a nice side to side kind of scrubby massage here. Again, using the breath through the palms to release into any tension that we have there. So we want to feel that there is some space, there is some breath. We're releasing and not feeling that it's fixed together. Move a little bit wider to the sides towards your ears and just finding that sense of softness that comes through the sides. Maybe you haven't felt this area before. We're going to come back in closer to the spine. So right along the sides of the spine, where the erector muscles are. We're now taking a circular massage, relaxing and just circling down the back of the neck, letting your jaw and your chin adjust a little bit here as you make your way down. We're going all the way down the back of the neck until we've reached the tops of the shoulders. We're going to dig our fingertips in over top of the shoulders and sweep over top. Exhale, releasing any tension and tightness and sweeping it off and shaking it out. And again, going back, using the breath. Let it go. And again, breathing out. And release. Now we're going to interlace the fingers. Feel the breath come from the base of the spine. The breath internally lifts us up to reach through the arms. Wherever your arms end up, they may not be all the way up. They may be a little bit forward. Feel that you're supported from the base, breathing in and up to lift. Wherever you're at, feel that you can just wiggle up out of your tail, releasing out of the hips. A nice little shift from side to side, feeling that you're breathing space between the bones and the tissues here. Then we're going to come back through center, relax the arms down in front, release through the tail, let the shoulders release and drop. We're making a nice little sweeping circle around to the right, your right. Breathe your top elbow up, making space for the ribs to breathe up and over. Exhale, feel that you're breathing in between your ribs, into your intercostals here, that webbing that goes through the ribs with the tissue. Inhale, breathing space between the ribs to come up. Relax the shoulders at the top. Exhale, sweep the tail a little bit under as you drop your arms down and feel the breath wash through the upper back. Inhale and exhale. And around. Long tail through the floor on the inhale to come up. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders. Let your elbows really bend here to soften through the shoulders. Inhale up. Take a little pause at the top. Take a new breath. Exhale, change your direction over and forward and around again. Letting the breath come in, find your elbow and chest, breathing open up. And exhale over, around and forward and down. Letting the breath in, lifting you up from inside to go over, very soft through the joints here, using your breath to open through the joints. We want to feel that we're releasing around the joints to let the mobility come through. We'll do one more. Exhale, releasing forward and around. Relax the shoulders as your tail lengthens to let the breath come through and up. Pause at the top, feel the breath lift you up from inside again, reaching. Keep that lift and reach and separate the palms floating open as you suspend that lift upward through the spine. Now from here, we're going to come around with our feet out in front. We're going to take the hands back behind us on the floor. With one heel reaching out, the other knee can bend and just drop open to the side. Use the opposite hand behind you, the same hand as foot that's out. We're going to push up over the tail and breathe the chest open. Hang in the arm, relax and change. And we're pushing back to lift up and over the tail. Let the chest breathe here. Let the arm be soft. And release. And again, breath from the base lifts you up to go over and release. And again, change. Breath and up and over and release. release. We're going to do one more on each side. Feel the breath initiate internally, and you just add a little bit extra through that little push. So we're still building a sense of connection and strength foremost. Breathing in and up to open and release. Now we're going to take both feet out. We're going to let the arms come up, and we're going to circle through the wrists and the ankles, breathing, circling around, and we're just going to make our way around and down to the floor, letting everything open up and breathe like little tentacles until you can hang. So now we're all in sort of a different spot in our hang here. Start with your head. So start with the heaviness of your head, and just let that take you into a comfortable hang over your legs. Don't try to force or add tension. Let your body release and breathe and let go. Let the head go and use your breath. Feel a little sense of breath through the upper abdomen. Give you a little sense of support internally. So we feel that breath through the upper abdomen. Help let the head go a little bit as we exhale. We're letting the head drop a little with our breath. You can breathe optimally, you're breathing out through your nose here. We want to feel the breath travel along the nerves of the spine and out through the nose. You can breathe out through your mouth, of course, if that's a little bit too, if you're not used to that. So we're just going to breathe out, thinking of that release here, and then just hang and let go. Use the weight of your head to sway from side to side, breathing and shifting and releasing. Let the swaying of your head shift through the whole spine, through the ribs, through the hips, through the lower back. You're shifting in the sits bones, drawing weight, dropping down from one side to the other, kind of like you're walking on your sits bones here. Feel the breath through the back of the ribs here. So the opposite backside ribs expand a little bit on a sort of diagonal, releasing out of your waist area, the lower back ribs. And then we're going to shift and walk in our hips, dragging the legs. So we're walking backwards on the floor. The sits bones drag and shift. We're using our sits bones like feet. Feel that heaviness through the bones. You're breathing through the bones to release, and feel that your breath travels through the low back sacral area, like you're penetrating breath through the sacrum as you glide. Then we're going to come forward, still the sits bones lifting up and dropping out. The knee softens a little bit to make a little space. You're going to shuffle the leg away, lift up and walk over. The sits bones push on the floor to lift the other one up and over, breathing through the center. And up and around, and up and around. And then we're going to end up just hanging again, relaxing through the head, neck, and shoulders, breathing out. Feel that the tail of your spine releases down through the floor as the breath comes in and up from the base of the spine through the front. The breath carries you all the way up through the roll up. Especially as you get to the top, don't let go of the breath down low at the base of the spine. That actually supports you coming all the way up more than any part, and then release. So now we're relaxing the legs out. We're going to take a nice little scoop in the abdomen, making our fists and drumming into our sacrum and the lower back. So relaxing over and breathing into the sacrum here, going around the glutes, around the back sides of the hips, and then travel up around the sides of the spine, breathing into that. Feel that the breath releases from the vertebrae out to the sides, up towards your ribs, and back down again. And then we're going to take our fists and just drop into the sides of the hips, letting the fists just bounce off the sides of the hips and breathe and release here. And then taking one side and then the other from the back side of the hip, releasing out and down to the foot, sending that tension and tightness from the back of the hip all the way down and out through your foot, out of the hip, out of your body. And then we're going to open the palms, use the heels of the hands, relaxed and light, fluffing around the sides of the legs here. Try to relax your muscles. We want them to shake and release off the bones here. feeling that we're kind of scooping and releasing. Everybody sort of knows where the IT band lines are on the sides of our legs. So we're kind of going along that side line, breathing and releasing off the bone as we come down almost to the end of the quads, right up above the knees, where the quadriceps attach into our knees. We're going to go along that top attachment zone above the knees and just fluff it up, breathing and going around to the inside. You can turn in the legs. And then we're taking our fingertips and tapping right into the kneecaps, into the patella, into the bone. So we want to feel a nice vibration travel through the bones into the joints, waking up our nerves to wake up everything else. So it all starts with the nervous system. We're going to travel down the shin bones, feeling that vibration, letting that happen. We're sort of, letting this manipulation a bit come through. And also you're feeling your body out, trying to feel what's going on in this part of your body, all the way down to your ankles, back up your shins again. And then we're going to just lean back, use the heels of your hands, more pressure on this one. We're flushing through the quads from the hips, down and out along the femur bones, going all the way down to the knees, a little bit on the outside, a little bit on the inside, thinking of that shape, that roundness of our leg. And then we'll come down on the outside of the shins here, that fluffy motion, and we're scooping and fluffing up along the outside of the shin bones, the peroneals. So this, if you've ever had shin splints, you know exactly where they're at. We're going to just bounce off and release through them. They don't really get very much attention usually. So we're just kind of releasing anything. Sometimes the alignment between your ankle and your knee can get caught up in some tightness here. It's actually more important than you think. And then we're going to let the feet slide back, let your knees relax. Use the tops of your hands comfortable. We're not trying to push on this. Flush down along the inner thigh line. So this is the adductor line. A lot of tension and tightness gets held here. We want to feel a release downward into the floor, traveling along that inner thigh line towards your knees, breathing and releasing and letting this go. And then gently flexing through our heels to slightly engage the calves, finding your fists. Use your breath and exhale, drop into your calves. Breathing out and letting the calves release and shake off the bone again. So this is a lateral release. And we're just finding a little bit of that letting go. It might be tender and you can take a smaller range and just more lightly tap and drop into this. Feel your breath let go. And then focus on a little bit lower on the calf into your Achilles tendon area. Right below the calves, just letting that release and let go. This is a different version of getting into your calves other than just a regular calf stretch. And then we're going to take the palms back behind, let the feet out, and just shaking out on the floor. Nice little shifting in the hips and shoulders, just checking out, seeing if you're holding any tension there. Now bending one knee, let the breath come in. We're going to start the exhale through the low belly, then let the leg go. And change to the other side. We connect a little bit through the breath before we release. And again, up. Start the breath to let go. Think of not pushing down into the floor, but releasing out along the floor. So the back of the knee feels long still. We don't want to feel that we over exaggerate the downward push behind the knee. And exhale, letting go. Feel there's a lengthening from your tail all the way down through your heel on this. And again, exhale. Now relax here, just do little light taps in and out, tapping your toes, feeling that relaxed rotation in the hips, down through the legs, just moving through the bones here. We're going to take the feet back in. Now we're going to roll through the feet a little bit. We want to feel the ankles let go. Do some little ankle circles here, breathing into your feet, relaxing and opening and feeling a sense of focus on your feet here. Relaxing the feet on the floor. Take your fingers into massaging into that inner heel ankle area. Lots of little tendons we want to flush through here under the ankle bone, waking things up, feeling that there's some support on this interior side of the foot, the feet, and that travels all the way up on the inside of the legs that connects us into our hip alignment. So we want to breathe through that, and then we're going underneath the foot into the soles of the feet. A deeper massage, flushing from the heels all the way out through the toes. Think of the bones on your feet, the metatarsals. You're going under the sole of your foot along those bones, and just feeling your foot relax and let go as you do that, and just finding a sense of lengthening out through the toes. So we can focus on how the space, the balls of the feet, where the toes start to stem from the balls of the feet. We're lengthening out under that space. And then we're going to take our hands under the balls of the feet. Use your fingers to stretch your toes apart, holding space in between the toes. Relax your feet and just breathe into that space with a relaxed foot. And then gently release, taking your palms back behind you. So now we're going to bring the feet out in front. We're tucking the tail a little bit under. We feel from the outside of the hips, the sitting bones, there's like a connection inward, a narrowing and lengthening through the tail. The palms are behind. We're breathing through our midline as we walk through the feet, reaching out through the toes. Use your toes to pull up and forward. We're going to exhale, breathing through the center of our body as our feet move. Feel that the arches of your feet expand and melt into the floor. Let's reverse it when you get too far away. The toes go first. You get a little doming there. Feel the arches melt and expand back and up. We're finding a sense of articulating all at one time, but finding a sense of lengthening and rolling through, but connection throughout the whole body on this. Then send your feet away again. Exhale out and walk. So it's not just the feet having their own sense of control. We're feeling how we connect all the way up from inside our torso, all the way down and out through the tips of the toes and beyond. And then we're just going to relax the legs out, shaking out. We're going to let the feet come back in wherever you feel comfortable here, whatever position that is. Finding a nice lift in the chest. We're going to do the happy hamster and just take a nice massage up around the ribs. As you breathe in, especially, feel how the breath in expands the chest cavity wide. And as you exhale, there's a lengthening down into the pelvis. And you can go all throughout your organs here. So you're just moving your palms around. We're flushing through the lymph in the body here. We're going to continue that into the front of the hips in the groin area. Just releasing and massaging, flushing through the lymph down in the groin a little bit here. Feeling things out. Coming up into the center of the chest, letting go of any tension. Just a little up and down scrubbing motion here with your breath, letting go. And then we're going to trace that down the abdomen, through into the pelvis, just gliding the fingers along the body, around under the side, getting under the ribs, and coming around through the front, over to the other side, breathing through this space. We're going to come back through center, relax the arms and shoulders to hang. Let your head relax. Take your opposite hand and right into the front of your shoulder. Again, another big lymph area. Breathing and relaxing your head. You can move your head around a little bit to untangle from the neck. You might start to feel that, but you don't have to. You can just sort of hang and explore. Move around here a little bit. Try not to stay in just one spot, but let it really release and open. Let that tissue really mush around a bit. And then relax and hang over to the other side. Let the shoulder go. Focus on keeping the shoulder that's hanging relaxed as much as you can as you're breathing and moving things around, using your breath through your palm, feeling that you're opening and releasing and not causing more tension to retract back, right? Feeling that you just open and release through the palm and glide. And then we're going to come back through center, let the tail release under. Find that breath internally again. The breath lifts us up. We're going to inhale, the breath carries us up longer, lifting out of the hips and pelvis. As we exhale, let the arms go, down and out, and then soften the tail, release. Breath comes in and up from the base of the spine, lifting you inside. We keep that lift as we let go. And again, release. Let the breath come in. Feel that you're internally lengthening through the bones. So the bones aren't leading you. You're going through the bones and let go. And then just shake it out. Think of this downward V from the center of the chest, releasing down and out through the arms, letting go of the shoulders, letting go of the elbows, the wrists, the fingertips here. We want to let the breath travel through from the spine down and out, feeling a nice little fuzzy sensation down into the fingers eventually. And then interlacing the fingers, we're going to do a nice compression and release, just squeezing and letting go, breathing through the palms here. And just working all around. Relax through your wrists and just take a nice little gliding around. Release. Let your breath guide you. Relaxing in the shoulders and letting that motion come through. Now we're going to reverse it, coming back the other way, letting it go, letting the movement release with your breath. Try not to make it happen. Try not to manufacture a shape. And then letting go, separating, pulling the fingers apart, release and open through the palms, breathing through the fingers. From the palms, collect the fingers in. We're going to inhale, expand from the center out. Exhale, draw in. And again, from the center of the palm. And back in one more time. Breath opens your palm. And the breath collects your fingers in. That same compression release feeling, we're going to let that travel through the spine from the base of the pelvis, releasing a little bit as we gather. We're going to let the breath in from the base of the spine, expand and open. Like a nice balloon filling up and floating open. We're going to take a nice long squeezing exhale. Squeeze through the base of the spine, the dantian. Squeeze through the fingertips, the toes, the eyes. All of our distal points are squeezing and compressing. Using the breath to compress through the nerve lines as we exhale. Keep breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out till you don't have any more breath left. Let the breath in, expand and open. Letting that release come through. And again, exhale, squeezing it out. Squeeze through the breath, condensing, compressing, and releasing of any tensions that you need to let go of, anything negative that you need to use your breath to just help push out of your body, releasing and making space for new. Breath comes in and you expand. One more time, squeezing it out. Expanding on this last one, we're just going to release anything that was holding on extra, just kind of throwing it off. And then we'll come up into the top of the spine, the occipital, and just feel a sense of length and lift back there, releasing up through the top of the spine. Take your hands into the back of your head, relax your head into your palms, release your jaw and your chin. Use your hands to lengthen up through the back of the head, feeling that translate through the whole spine in length. And then keep sweeping through the palms until you sweep all the way up and out and around and down. We have a nice sense of length running through the back of the body, a nice sense of a loop from the back to the front here. We want to feel the breath come in and up through that loop and out through the eyes. Very relaxed though. Keep your sense of foundation where you build the outward projection from the back of the body and the spine. We're going to use the eyes to just look around the room. We're scanning the room and seeing everything, but not feeling too much tension in the eyes. This is very important for what we're all doing today with computer work a lot. And then using your breath to feel your vision, your eyes drop into the back of your head almost. As you look around, you're very relaxed and you're just letting a natural sense of exploration come through the vision as you look around to the other side. And then again, using your breath to let that release come through your vision where everything looks open and clear and curious. We're using the vision now to maybe look beyond the walls, seeing out beyond the space that we're in, looking out onto a horizon feeling. And again, one more time, letting that sense of breath stay inside. We're feeling the breath come through the spine and out through the eyes, or the opposite, from the outward in. And then using your breath to bring your eyes back through center. We're going to take a deep breath from the base of the spine. Inhale, scooping in and up and closing the eyes. Try not to close off your throat and your chest. Relax your shoulders. Feel the breath come in and up internally as you lift and squeeze. Gently let the breath go. Let your eyes open. Little blinking, taking the fingers and just sweep and blink and brush away any little extra cobwebs around the face and eyes. Using your breath, feeling nice and open there. And then taking your fingertips. Now those nice little taps all around the skull. Breathing and releasing, feeling those little vibrations all around the head. Taking a nice little sweeping upward motion again through the underneath back side of the head, through the top of the spine, and then feeling that release. Relax your jaw, use your eyes to spot from side to side. If you feel comfortable, you can let go into a little bit more of a twirl here, but let your jaw go. Breathe into the spine here as you do this, letting the shoulders relax. And then just slowing it down gradually to release out of it. Not everyone will feel comfortable with that, especially if you feel tension in your neck and shoulders. So even if you're just watching it in the beginning, any of this stuff, if you're just watching and feeling that you're learning internally through your body by watching, that is the way to start. We're going to come around onto the hands and knees. And now we're working our way up off the floor a bit. We're going to just relax in the shoulders. Now, sometimes our shoulders might be a little bit lifted or stuck up there when we come into this position. You want to let your shoulders relax and you'll feel them draw down into your back a little bit. There's a plumb line that comes down into the heels of the hands. And then we want to find a sense of breath through the upper abdomen. And we're going to just breathe in and up through the upper abdomen to lift into the ceiling through the upper back ribs. Now, as I'm doing this, the tail can let go and lengthen down. The apex of my curl is through the upper back ribs. I'm going to let my head go. If you connect through your upper abdomen, you should be able to let your head go a little bit more easily. Using the breath, we're going to gently push the floor away. Feel that your sits bones pull your tail down a little bit more as you're doing that. Let the breath come from the base of the spine, along the spine, lifting to the ceiling to bring you through the shoulders to extend through the spine. We're lifting to the ceiling, so we're not dropping into our hips and our shoulders. We're lifting through the joints to open the chest through. That's all we're going to do today. Relax your effort. Find the breath from your abdomen to begin. Your abdomen breath initiates the change. The breath comes in and up. That changes the shape of your spine. We keep breathing through that, lifting internally to the ceiling, letting the tail drop and lengthen, lifting through the upper abdomen to let the head go, drawing the tail down and pushing the floor away to open the upper back ribs. To unfurl, lift from the lower abdomen. Think of the midline. Think of the breath along the midline of your body where your spine is, lifting to the ceiling. You're gently rolling into length through the hips and shoulders, letting the shoulders drop down. Find that engagement lifting up, even in your fullest extension. Try not to pull your head up here. Relax. Let your tail relax down, not engaging through the abdomen as much. We're going to draw the tail back, tuck the toes under. If you feel comfortable, take your hands close to your knees, push your tail back over your feet. We're going to do this little kind of squat where you hang your tail over your heels. If your knees don't like this, you can come onto your feet and just soften your knees and hang your tail like a little old monkey hanging over. So you're just doing that, whatever it is. We're dropping through the tail here, letting your knees can be separate, your arms hang over your knees, and just feel that you're shifting your weight. If you're on your feet, you're breathing and rolling a little bit back and a little bit forward over your feet. We're going to take the hands close to the feet, take a deep breath, and just lengthen the tail back and up over the heels. Feel that you plumb line your tail over your heels if you're hanging over your legs, taking your feet about hip width apart. You can do a nice little shake out of the legs here. And then even if you need something to push on, if you can't hang comfortably, use something to help yourself let go. You're going to just bend one knee, hang over the bent knee, but shift your body weight down through the straight leg, hip, and heel, and exhale. Gently shifting in your hips and dropping down into the straight leg, hip, and heel. And again, so you're just kneading from one side to the other. Exhale. Feel that the tail of your spine, not the very, very bottom, but from the top of the sacrum down through your heel, breathes into the floor. So there's a sense of connection from the sacrum down through the heel, through the floor. We're going to come back to center, relax and hang. Feel the breath through the upper abdomen, just like we did on hands and knees. The upper abdomen breathes up to the ceiling. That helps you start your roll up. As the upper abdomen lifts, the tail and the lower back can drop down to the floor without you having to bend your knees so much. If you need to, you can, but this is a way to lift out of your hips, to lengthen through the legs, all the way through and down. As you come up all the way, find that sense of length down through the back of the body, all the way through the heels into the floor. We're going to do just a little bit of standing and breathing here. I just have to adjust one thing. So now we have our fingertips on the low abdomen, the dantian, right? So this is where we let the breath begin from. This is what we've been working on. So we feel the midline breath come from between the heels, from inside, from the floor. So the breath comes up through the midline of the body, sipping. As we sip in and up internally, there's a loop and release down through the back. So we want to feel some of that energy. We're trying to let go of any unnecessary tension we feel in the back body. Feel a sense of engagement into the spine. Feel that you're lifting up out of the base of the spine with the breath. Fingertips on the low dantian, sip through the mouth to gather this breath. Think from your feet. Feel your feet push into the floor as you sip. Suspend it. Take a little exhale, softening your knees, but deepening the suspension and the space with this breath you found. Then let go, start again, lengthen the legs softly, push into the floor and find the sip internally to lift you up. Suspending it, it goes a little deeper as you bend your knees, exhale. Gently lengthen the legs again. Find the breath from the floor coming through your midline, in and up. Suspending it, going a little deeper on the exhale as you soften your knees. We're going to relax the arms, let the arms hang down and around the sides here. Feel that same breath. This is our last thing. We're going to let the breath come in and up through the midline. This time we're going to float the arms around and up. Think of your shoulder blades, your scapula, they're pivoting and moving around the back ribs. They're not stuck. It's not just lifting up from here. We're letting the shoulders revolve, even if your elbows need to soften. Feel the breath through the midline, suspend through your arms and your chest up, releasing and gathering. Suspend it, deepen the breath, soften in your knees and elbows, releasing forward, exhale, around and drooping down. Find the energy through the feet to gather the breath again, sipping. Relaxing through the shoulders and arms and exhale. One more time. Breath comes from the floor up. Feeling that connection right through the midline, through your center. And exhale. Relax. Come up through and just lengthen your body and just feel that sense of energetic midline running through the body. Let your posture relax, but feel that that midline is supporting you. Relax the shoulders, releasing down and around and back. Feel a sense of length and release down through the back of the body as you do a little bit of a weight shift walking forward. So you're feeling that there's a length down and out behind you to shift in your hips, not feeling like you're pitching forward to walk, right? So you're dropped into your plumb line energy as you walk. And let that carry you throughout your day and take you into the world. Great. Thank you very much, everyone. So I will see you again next week, next Wednesday, 12 o'clock Eastern New York time. If anybody has any special requests, body parts, tension spots, any kind of concerns with breathing, please send me a message so I can figure out what we do. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye. I'll just sort of go through each little device here.